So, in modern times, entertainment has become a huge part of our life. Things like video games, movies, music, social media platforms have impacted life for most of the time. Especially video games have evolved so much so in the past 15-20 years that they have surpassed movies in terms of revenue sales. So today we're going to talk about video games, how they impacted my life, how they changed my way or perspective towards looking technology, and also they can be enjoyable, not just enjoyable but also useful and profitable in day-to-day life. So stay tuned, and if you like the video, please share with your friends and subscribe to the channel. It would really appreciate it. And so let's just start into it. The year is 2001, the time when shell jewelry, fancy denim, overhauls, and headbands were a thing. In that same stupid year, I was born. After doing poop jobs in my undies for several years, in 2008, when I was 7 years old, I got my first console, a ripoff of Nintendo. I specifically remember getting in hand and playing games like Contra, Snow Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and getting baffled by this technology that you can control something and command it. That experience, gaming in general, changed my way and perspective towards technology. After a couple of years of rip-off Nintendo gaming, I got my first PC, 32 PC, but got my first PC. But the games were bangers. The games like Call of Duty, CSGO, then EA Cricket 2011 World Cup, EA Cricket 2007 World Cup, GTA San Andreas, GTA Vice City, and many others were my bangers. Playing games specifically like Call of Duty World at War, CSGO, then EA Cricket 2007 and EA Cricket 2011 World Cup. And yeah, back then EA wasn't like evil, they are like evil now. They used to make 20 plus sports game. Now they just make 5-6 sports game, and most of them are pachinko machines, basically pay to win. That's pretty bullshit and sad also. Anyway, so at the time it was my constant habit playing these games, specifically cricket and Call of Duty. I used to wonder when I'm gonna pick next gun in a COD online lobby, or what kind of match I'm gonna play in a World Cup on my particular PC. And around that same time, in mainstream media, there was like huge thing going on that how can games can be very bad for your kids, how can they spoil, how can they be wasteful. And most of my relatives and my parent really got into that concern. But my mother, honestly, and thank God, she didn't believe in that bullshit, because she understood what games really meant to my habit and to my health actually. And from that point I was also pretty concerned, because I thought that because these people are actually playing me for wasting my time, I started thinking that, oh well, am I really wasting my time? Am I really doing something bad with that? It turns out not. And here's the thing why. Whenever we find something interesting or something new, it basically, most of the time what happens is that we get attached to those things. And because we get attached to those things, so it seems that we do those things pretty often, and sometimes those things go beyond their limit and consume our life for most of the time. And that shouldn't be, but that doesn't mean that you should do anything, right? Just because you are having fun or you can't control it doesn't mean that you should abandon the fun, right? So that's the first takeaway that we can take from the games, or kind of like learn from them, is that have fun with responsibility. So be responsible what you have, right? And have fun, just don't over exaggerate it. Simple as that. Also, because of playing video games, I really got into other stuff. Like if I'm playing Cricket 11, I would search about players past, or I would learn about batting skills or bowling skills. Or if I'm playing Call of Duty, which are mostly based on real life events or kind of twisted, I would learn about things like World War, Cold War, about countries and their past and their wars. Or I would learn about guns and their the science about it, or engineering about it. Second point that I'm going to make here is you can learn a lot of stuff from playing video games, especially educational ones. I have played some educational games in the past, and because of that I really got into biology and neuroscience and chemistry in general. Also, by playing video games, you can explore different kind of territories, different kind of fields. At least I did. Things like philosophy, or like comic books, other books, that fantasy ones that I really got into because of playing video games. So I think you just need curiosity and interest, and if you have that, you can explore by playing video games. I have learned more from by myself and by reading books and playing video games. And yes, video games are one of those factors that really led me to learn more than that I've learned by the 12 years of education in school. And it may seem as a little bit over-exaggerated statement, but that's pretty much true. I have learned more by myself, and reading books and exploring by myself in different kinds of field than just going to the school. After suffering from horrible potato PC gaming, in 2015 I got my first PlayStation, the PlayStation 4, and at that point I was exploring different kinds of games, more indie, more horror, more RPG element games in general, and that changed my way of looking towards game. I was starting to analyze more storytelling, more character progression. And here's my third point: through games you can pretty much analyze and have immersiveness of story than movies in general. And it's just not me, but also actors like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I hope I said correctly, agrees with me. Through gaming you can have more time to explain a story and can give more time to moments to breathe out than movies. And also, because the games are interactive, the interactiveness with the story, it's more impactful than just getting told. Another thing that I learned from the video game is character building. So the games like Witcher 3, God of War, Red Dead 2, all these three games have a different storyline, different approach how they build the character, and there are a lot of different elements. There's one thing that you can find which is same in all these games, is the emotional investment with the character. So in Red Dead 2, where the Arthur Morgan, the main protagonist, is a cowboy, an orphan, and even despite being that, he still cares about the people and cares about the community and cares about the family. Even though there's a lot of chaos is happening around his family, the more you go further in the game. The Atreus and Kratos in God of War and their relationship, Atreus kind of like this child who doesn't understand the responsibility, want to do something better, while the Kratos really wants him to do something better, but also wants him to discipline, and really is a strict father. This kind of experience that seems very interactive with the player and puts a player into a emotional state. Or adventurous and ruthless yet calm and cool persona of Geralt of Rivia, and his relationship with the Triss Merigold and Yennefer gives us a different kind of approach towards The Witcher. So in all these three games, what we have seen is that not just good storytelling, but also good character progression. Also on the top of that, good representation and these soundtracks, all these elements when come together give us a unorthodox experience that we may not have seen before. On the last but not the least, I want to discuss about this argument of that games are time killer, or they can spoil your kids, or they're violent and they are the problem of all humanity, sort of, which is not true. Yes, WHO actually labeled gaming addiction, but that doesn't mean that they are saying games are addictive. Games can be addictive, and I've known some people who are really addicted towards games, but that doesn't mean that games are addictive. They can be the cause, they are not the only cause. And I think that's where media gets distracted, and that's where they do not understand what particularly science is saying. In fact, according to science, games have a lot of advantage in real life for both young kids to older male and females in general. So I'm just gonna drop the article in the description box. Then you'll find the scientific study and on different kinds of games and how they affect and what kind of advantage do they give to which particular age. The first one, the studies have shown that by playing games, you can increase your perception and you can increase your time span on anything, but particularly on concentrating something. So specifically, if you play shooting games, then you will find that these games, if you play quite often, You can increase your perception and concentration about particular things. Second, especially if you play 3D games, the study have shown that it could increase memory in children. So, one of the researchers has said, because of their engaging experience and enriching 3D virtual environment, the same video games that have been played for decades by children and adults alike may actually provide our brain with meaningful stimulation. Another study says that gaming could be a good relief, as games distract individuals from the pain and let him or her focus on virtual reality. Video games have shown that they can help dyslexic kids for better learning. Even games like Tetris could reduce trauma by a lot. Some studies have shown that playing games can make you smarter. On the last not the least, even by playing games, you can increase your gray matter in the regions like right hippocampus, cerebellum, and right prefrontal cortex. So there you go. We have discussed that how games are great in general, how they can be profitable in real life, how they can profit in business, how they can affect your life for a better way, how they can teach you about character progression, inspiration, how they can make you fall into different kind of stuff like philosophy, like science or history or anything that relates to that. There just should be one thing, which is interest and curiosity on the top of that. So if you have that, you can learn a lot of things from games and also can have fun. So that was the video, guys. If you like the video, please like it, share with a friend or family member, and subscribe. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.